Okay, we've been sent a case from a first-time user. This is a person who has just recently gotten both the Sorona 3D imaging and their CEREC in terms of being able to put everything together. So what we're looking for and evaluating here is our ability to ideally plan and also to be able to evaluate what's going on. So the note on the case that was submitted was, my concern is that the mesial contact of the crown for number 14, the implant behind my proposed implant for site 13, is extremely bulbous and in the way of my sleeve. Would you modify the crown and rescan, or is there another way to handle this? Also evaluate my CEREC data. So let's take a look at this. So the CEREC data is well integrated. My only comment on the CEREC data is, let's pretend we were going to go straight for guide here. We do not technically have enough information to fabricate a surgical guide. For an opti guide, they would like some cross-arch stability, so we would like our CEREC scan to travel all the way over to tooth number 5 or number 6. In theory, technically, you could have an opti guide made from this data. It's just not recommended due to the passive fit of the opti guide. So let's take a look at our implant plan itself. Well, actually, let's start with evaluating this implant crown. So this implant was placed honestly pretty well on this existing number 14. What we're both unhappy about is how the crown looks, and here you can see the crown kind of goes way over here. So as the person mentioned, this would be a good case to maybe recontour the crown. Now, if we take a real close look at this, that crown is actually only to about right here. This is probably all scatter from the metal of the restoration. So it may actually not be quite this far over as it looks like right here. So, personally, if we all feel that this is bulbous, what I would personally do, especially as a beginner and a first-time user of all of this, I would definitely go to the mouth, adjust that crown, get my contours exactly where I like it, and then re-image. And besides, you have to re-image anyway to get an opti guide made in this particular case, so I would go ahead and do that. Now, aesthetically, this crown for tooth number 13 actually looks a pretty good size. So, maybe that doesn't need to be adjusted, or maybe just needs to be adjusted slightly. So, these are little things. This is the benefit of having the CEREC virtual wax up here. So aesthetically, if we adjusted number 14 too much, then maybe our crown would look, premolar would look way too wide here. So let's take a look and see what we can do to fix it, because really the big issue is the sleeve's in the way. Now, in an ideal world, we would place this implant more like this to get our occlusal plane level, but the issue with that is that we're running into this root. And the reason we're running into that root is we can see that this tooth has, the root of it has drifted quite a bit to the distal. So in this particular case, we're going to have to make a compromised occlusal plane plan. So we'd have to probably do something along these lines right here, just like so, to get this implant in place. And even then, it's quite a bit close to that adjacent tooth. Quite honestly, for my comfort level, probably a little bit too close. Right here, we're probably possibly even touching the root. So if I were to be completely honest in this particular case, which is what I always strive to be, I would probably consider having the patient complete orthodontics maybe to have this implant placed. But here we can see we can angle this to get it pretty close to having the sleeve fit. We can also, in this particular case, go to a slightly thinner implant, which I think, and given that we have more length to go up, I think that a 3.5 by 13 would work quite nicely, and then our sleeve was certainly fit in this particular situation. So while I'm not a big fan of 3.5 for premolars, given the situation and given how small the mouth looks to be, I would certainly consider a 3.5 here. I would not consider a 3.5 in the molar site, but in here I would. So the next thing I look at also is, if we take a look here at our cross-sectional view, we're not quite coming out through the center here. The nice thing is we have centered this buccolingually on the ridge, but in this particular case we're going to break through here and bring this a little bit more up and down directly in the center of the tooth, just like so. And that'll give us a better placement in terms of having the forces go down the long axis of the tooth. And truthfully, I think now the closer I look at this, I would be quite comfortable placing this implant. Now I think we have the space between the adjacent teeth, we've got our sleeve in place, and we're good to go. So hopefully bone level position looks very good here. Maybe just slightly deeper like that. Looks very nice. I would be very comfortable with this placement and move forward with guided surgery here. So hopefully this has been helpful, and thank you for your case submission.